Hello, everyone. We are so excited to have you on our broadcast today. We are going to be getting started right at 3 o'clock as usual. So be sure that you head on over to the YouTube or Facebook live streams so you can interact with us throughout the broadcast today. Hello again, everyone. Welcome. We are getting started in just about 4 minutes. We have a lot to cover today. Excited to have you all on the broadcast.
Everybody, welcome to the broadcast. We're going to start here in just a few minutes. Depending on how you're watching, if you're on Facebook or on YouTube, comment now. Let us know you're here. So even if just to say hi. So welcome to the broadcast. Again, we'll get started. Richard, thank you very much. And everyone, let us know that you're here. Also shows us how you're watching. I'm saying most of you are on YouTube. So you can watch live on YouTube or on Facebook Live. Both links are on the page that you're on. And we'll get started here in just a few minutes. Everybody, we're giving away a marketing kit, later on. And so in order to be entered, you need to comment and let us know that you're here. So that can be as simple as just saying hi. So once you're in on Facebook or on YouTube, just let us know you're here by saying hi, and that will enter you to win the marketing kit.
Well, officially welcome everyone to our partner broadcast today. We have so much incredible content that we want to make sure we cover with you. So, for starters, I want to make sure that if you are not yet on the page on YouTube or on Facebook, that you head on over there and get set up. Want to make sure that you are able to see everything and you're able to interact with us today. And the important thing is that if you are on Facebook or YouTube, that you can see the ability to add your comments. And the comments are how you're going to be able to share today with us. So again, head on over to Facebook or to YouTube.
Yeah.
I apologize
Heather,
for
I'm
those
excited about this. So yeah, we've got some issues with the program we use for
slight
visuals.
delay
So I want
on
to
the
jump in
slides.
here. So, Heather, a couple of things we want to make sure we hit on. First of all, like you said, we're giving away marketing kits. So subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Facebook. And right now, though, the most important step of that is say hi. So if you're on Facebook or on YouTube, just let us know, that you're here, and we're excited to do that. Heather, talk for a minute about Q&A because we want this to be interactive.
Yes. So we've always had the Q&A ability, and it's more interactive now than it ever has been before by being able to watch on YouTube and on Facebook. So what you have the ability to do is real time add your questions in, have them answered live on the call, and we also tend to do some Q&A wrap up towards the end. So it's always important to make sure that you are keeping those comments coming throughout the event. Again, that's the 3 ways to watch. So if you are not yet over there, make sure that you do head over to Facebook or YouTube.
Absolutely.
There is also that kit giveaway that Ryan mentioned earlier during the intro. So if you are on YouTube, make sure that you have subscribed. If you're on Facebook, make sure you have liked the page and comment. So what we just mentioned, make sure you are interacting during the event today to be entered for that giveaway. And then as always, that Q&A that we mentioned, we will be covering that with our host and our guest. We have incredible speakers today with us on the broadcast. So you're going to want to make sure that you stick around. And to get us started, I would love to hand things off to Ryan Maddock and welcome him back into the call.
Thanks, Heather. I appreciate that. So this month we've got a great broadcast. I'm really excited about this one. We're talking about getting you the attention that you deserve. What I mean by that is, if you think about it, every client you're going to talk to, they need money. They need the service that you have to offer. Probably the biggest challenge we find is that they just don't know that you have it. But we're going to change all of that. And we're talking about changing this in 3 key areas. The first one is tax season. Okay. So if you think about this, why are clients so much more receptive to messaging over the next 6 weeks? We're going to answer that. What does that mean as far as you making the highest commissions of the year? I want to explain that to you in a little bit. Second topic we're going to be talking about is social marketing. Okay. Now, we've been talking about this a lot for the last few months, but this month, Zoe is going to teach you how to pitch. Hi, Zoe. 10,000 clients with 1 click. Now, I got to tell you, you're going to love this segment. It is not just clickbait to get you here. She's going to show you how to do this. Okay. If you want to pitch 10,000 restaurants, ERC, all at once, she's going to show you how to do it. You want to pitch 10,000 car dealerships, the benefit of WOTC, we're going to show you how to do that. As we've been showing you, Kendra's been showing you landing pages and videos, social posts, all these different things to attract clients, but we're going to show you how to get those assets in front of potential clients. And I got good news for you. It is way easier than you'd think. Okay. You can do this by the end of this call, by the end of this broadcast, you're going to know exactly how to do this. Third and final topic, we're going to be talking about going direct to clients. Okay. And if you want to really make money, you want to really make the highest commissions, this is what you got to do. Social marketing is great. That's why we've been spending so much time on it. But most of you, you've built your entire careers going directly to clients. Okay. So the good news is Kendra is going to show you some amazing new tools. Okay. These aren't just social posts. These aren't just things for you to post on Facebook. You could be in person or you could be virtual, but she's got some amazing new tools that are going to give everybody on this call the confidence and the professionalism to get out there in front of clients. Now, as I was mentioning earlier, we want to do all this in an interactive format. So Heather's going to be fielding questions on YouTube and on Facebook, and we'll take as many of those as we can. So that's the team for today's broadcast. I'm really excited. First of all, I want to say before we get started, thank you, ladies, for everything that you put into the event, everything you have in store. Say hi. Appreciate you being here. And
who else feels like we looked a little like Brady Bunch today?
A little bit.
yeah.
I like it. I'm excited.
It's great.
All right. Well, we've got an event. We're going to jump right in with our first topic. Before we do, Q&A, enter it in Facebook, enter it in in your YouTube and in Facebook, and get that going. I will say we're going to have a little bit of transition time between each of our segments, because right before launching the company we use to broadcast our graphics, so we're going to be doing screen share. And with that said, Kendra, I think you've got our first segment up.
It worked.
So Kendra, we're going to be talking about tax season. Now, I made some big promises at the beginning. I said clients are going to be more receptive than ever before.
Right.
And I said advisors are going to make more money than ever before. Those are two different sides. But I guess before that, everyone understanding, I mean, we're year-round business. Why are we even talking about tax season?
Well, we're talking about tax season. Yeah, we're a year-round business. Like, we're here to be able to bring our services to our clients, help them the entire year. But there's a couple times of year where our reach is just much stronger. Our messaging carries a lot heavier of a weight. And this tax season happens to be one of them. And if you know that you're going to have 10, 20, 30, 100 times the impact during a specific season, obviously we're going to take advantage of that. And that's right now. And Ryan, one of the biggest reasons is a lot of our client base have been getting these messages from their CPAs for the last 4 to 6 months, letting them know, hey, I'm taking a look at things. You're probably going to owe this year. And most of the time they get disregarded because our client base is busy running their businesses, right? They're busy operating every day. They're still kind of in the muck or in the middle of all that. You don't really pay attention to that until your CPA is going, hey, like, this is in the next couple of weeks and you owe money. And that's what's happening right now. CPAs are telling their clients, you got liability.
Yeah, I've been telling you all year, you've been underpaying. See, it's not just that. Business owners have been spending that money. I mean, this is what we're notorious for. We are procrastinators. It's just the way we are. And so we're waiting. And now that it's there, it's like, I like that. Oops, because that's exactly how I feel.
When you're operating a business, you're not intending to put yourself in the negative when it comes time to pay taxes. Nobody does that. But a lot of what's happened is the money they would have put in towards their prepaids, or the money that they put in that account that was sitting there waiting for tax payments, they had to use that as operating expense. We understand that as business owners, as operating with our client base, we get it. It happens. It's a part of business. But now it's time to pay the piper. Like, where's this money going to come from? So they're kind of in this state of, they're freaking out. They need a solution and they need it quickly. And unfortunately, as charismatic as we may think we are as individuals, they are probably not going to remember that they spoke to you 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 9 months ago, and that they have a solution and it's sitting there in you.
Well, I just had, real story. I've got a local commercial, I wouldn't know what to call him, a landlord. So he's got several spaces. And, I reached out to him a few years ago. We did one property for him. I've been a bad advisor. I haven't kept him in my email. See, we spend all of our time emailing out to the system. I do horrible with my own personal clients. So I haven't followed up. I haven't done anything. And so all of a sudden, maybe about a week ago, he called me. And actually called me on a weekend and said, and I was with my daughter at the time. I said, hey, I tell you what, let me set something up with you. I'm telling you what, he texted me 6 times because now all of a sudden it's important. So understand, you could have a really solid pitch in the summer or last fall or, in December or whatever the case is. But there's something now all of a sudden, because the CPA is like, you owe. And
they're getting hounded.
Yeah, he owes a mid to high figure, 6-figure amount to the IRS. And, he's like, hey, I remember there being something, and it's like, wow, I'm glad I was so impactful. You remember there was something. But actually, I was just thankful that he remembered anything and was able to
Right.
find my cell phone number.
Right.
But understand, like, I'm the owner of the company. I've been doing this for 20 years. I made so little impact on this guy that all he could say was, "I remember there's like something you did for me years ago with tax season."
And it
And
helped.
I
And
and
this
it
is a
helped.
client
Yeah.
we actually did cost
Yeah, we
segregation
did it in
for.
2015 though, so I'm
Right.
like ancient to him. But 6 times he called me and I just kept saying like, "Hey, I got you. I'll," that kind of thing. And so finally he just got him through the survey, got him over, that kind of thing, and got him into the system. And now I'm doing 3 cost, because here's the embarrassing part. He bought 3 buildings during that time. So now we're doing 3 cost segs to help knock out tax liability. So
So Ryan just stole my thunder, but basically
sorry.
our point is that there's this awareness that's going on right now that's going to cause your clients or your client base to be really open and receptive to your messaging in a way that they never are the rest of the year. And there's no way that we can replicate that. The only thing that has that type of impact is this season of time. So keep that in mind, which means they're open. They're looking for a solution. So that kind of leads us into our next segment to kind of talk about, okay, so if they're open, they're primed for a solution, you are the solution, how do you make that connection, Ryan? Like, what's that next step for them to be able to,
Yeah, I think that the big thing is you've got to be talking to people and, understanding that maybe if we talked to someone a while ago, it's not really that impactful. And, Kendra, I love this graphic. If you want to be rich, do it this way. We've been talking a lot about social in the last few, and social is great. We're going to talk about social next, right after this segment. But what I want to spend some time on is direct to client. And what I mean by that, so social is like direct to client in a way, especially if you know them, but I'm talking about direct. So we're talking about like sending an email that's to just one person. I'm talking about sending a text message. I'm talking about making a phone call, leaving a voicemail, bumping into someone, suggesting coffee, these kind of things. So that's what I mean when I say direct to client. Now, Kendra, I think for most people here, that's how they built their business anyways. So
right?
it's something I would hope everyone's comfortable on. I think the hard part is when we can make so much money with social, maybe some of us have gotten used to like, well, I can just post a few ads and blast out a few emails and I can go pick up, 10 clients.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe that muscle is like, especially during COVID, maybe
Yeah, maybe it's gotten a little bit
yeah,
flabby, a little bit
yeah,
needs a little bit of workout. I have to say, Ryan, though, that when it comes to direct, I've learned over the years, I mean, that's all we used to do. Like, I
yeah,
mean, there was no when I first started here, social networking was just for personal use. It was just for entertainment. And we've changed so much. We've come so far since then that it's the primary way that people are marketing and getting everything out there. But I've always seen that the direct way, the direct to client, it's always going to have our highest conversion. So you can't just go
yeah,
one direction or the other. That's why we call it a marketing strategy. You have to have all of these pieces that work together that make you successful.
yeah,
And when you take one spoke out of that wheel, it no longer turns. So you can't just do social, even though it's fun and it's new and it gets you, people are noticing you online. That's great.
yeah.
You have to still get out there, unfortunately, and do the bit that's a little bit harder work. You have to get out there and get in front of people because that's going to be your quickest to close.
Yeah.
That's going to be those clients that you get to control that entire purchase.
Yeah. Now, before you
experience.
go into that part, I just want to say real quick, Kendra, Zoe, myself, we're here to help. Okay. And Heather as well. Everyone in the team's here to help. So what I want you to do is ask Heather. I love that. You're right on point there. Ask your questions about direct right now. So if you're like, I went out there once and someone told me this and I didn't know how to overcome it, or I'm scared to go out because what if I get asked this, or how do I, what do I take out there with, like, literally anything you want to know? We're here to help, because as Kendra's saying right now, the way to the quickest and the highest profitability, the highest commissions, the highest relationship, I don't want to steal all your thunder. The best way is direct to client. Let me leave it at that so I don't take any of her points. So anything that's an obstacle between you getting out there and doing direct to client, I want you to put it in the Q&A right now. And we're going to spend some time answering those things, because you can't just hide behind your Facebook account. Kendra, they need to get out there and talk to these clients.
Right. I think we may have led because we did the charge so strong to get you guys kind of on board with the virtual and online and social side of the marketing. We could have put too much emphasis on that, maybe a little bit, or maybe it felt like we did. And I want to give some props to those of you who never stopped doing direct, because you can't be successful if you don't do both. And you guys have proven year over year, decade after decade, that is the way to build the best long-term relationship. And I'm kind of working backwards in the way I wanted to present this, but I think it fits right now. When you're able to control the entire experience for your client, it always goes better, right?
Yeah.
I can hear you guys going, yeah, of course. When I can control it, it goes better. It goes the way I want it to go. We'll apply that to the fact that you get to control their purchase experience. And what I mean by that is, every time we talk about marketing, Ryan, we talk about what? Like pain points, right?
Yeah.
You have to find out what the pain points, the needs of that client are. And it's really hard to do that when you're doing a large group, when you're messaging out to a big group, or kind of messaging out there online. You don't really know who it's going to hit. You're kind of trying to figure out. That's why we do industries and we do specific things to kind of hit those pain points. But when you're doing direct, you get to ask some specific questions. You get to lead the conversation, and you get to find out what those pain points, what those needs are of that potential client. And then you get to use that to mold their entire experience with the service.
Yeah.
So if you go out to a small manufacturer, Ryan, and what small manufacturers, one of their biggest issues is having money for payroll, right?
Yeah.
Or that new machine, that CNC machine they need to bring in that would solve all their problems. So then you find that out. And when you're working around the solution, which is your services, you get to say, so with this service, with ERC, we could get you X number of dollars, and that would allow you to open up a third shift. Or that would allow you to get that down payment on that CNC machine that you need so badly.
Yeah.
And they start applying your service and your solution to their problem. And then it's just like this from that point forward. Like, they need you, and they know they need you, because now you've created this emotional attachment in their mind. There's no other way to do that besides direct. Like, that's the best.
I love, and I want to throw a few up here that so Robert says it takes 10 to 20 touches on social media to develop a relationship. Yeah, you should still be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But, overall, this is where this is so effective. So Kendra, I'm going to throw a few questions out there.
Sure.
The first one is, how do we overcome potential clients who see the numbers? She said Pres Pro. I'm going to translate that to your website or whatever way, and say, hey, this is just too good to be true. So what would you maybe have for, and any of these you can kick back to me as well. So
I think I would say, well, give me the opportunity to prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Let me show you that it's not, because there's no obligation except for a little bit of documentation. And if you get this documentation back and it's too good to be true, then you didn't lose out on anything.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of time investment. There's not a lot of physical investment. They don't have to run around to meetings. They don't have to spend a lot of time meeting with anybody. They literally just have to provide a little bit of documentation, and they can do that all on their own within about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So prove me wrong.
Yeah.
What do you have to lose besides the benefit that you could be getting?
This is what some like the blog articles are for, or the landing pages that have video on them and stuff as well. So if somebody to me were saying, I don't really think that, well, like, what's your question on? And depending on what their question, I might say, well, let me show you like an overview on ERC or on whatever the topic is.
We have a lot of those resources available. Yeah. Some of the video is really good at kind of answering those questions, and I don't mean sidestepping, overcoming those objections before they're ever an objection out of their mouth. Sometimes the videos can do that. Those individual industry landing pages can help to offset those concerns, because it hits on pain points like that. But basically, they're not out anything to allow us to present this to them and show them what the solution could be. So that would be what I would say, is give me the opportunity.
And I think as a third, like last layer, type the word IRS and then whatever word, IRS ERC tax credit. You're going to land on an IRS website with an IRS header that talks about the ERC tax credit. Type IRS cost segregation and go there and say, look, cost segregation's, been out for decades.
Yep. You
And,
can't get much more legitimacy than the IRS's own website,
yeah. I'll take a few more. So if we're leading with tax management system, they come back. I have a CPA that handles that. What's a good response? Kendra, you want to take that one, or you want me to? Or
Great. I would hope you do, because we don't do taxes.
yeah,
But since they handle these things for you, how much did you get in ERC?
yeah,
And they're gonna say, well, I didn't do ERC. Well, why not? I mean, your CPA handles it for you. But they don't do tax incentives, right? Because we
Yeah.
usually work with your CPA. We get that documentation over to them, and then they use that to file your taxes. So it's kind of this missing link.
yeah,
And Ryan gave a good one years ago, and somebody said, I already did the R&D tax credit. And he said, well, how much did you get? And
Yeah.
the guy was like, it was just an excuse. It's
Yeah.
not a real. So it's called overcoming those objections. They're going to throw them at you.
Yeah. Kendra, I'm going to take two more, and then I want you to pick back up in your slide. I'll take this one. So I think it might be reluctant. So if you tell people, even when I say there's no cost to find out, how do you position that for less resistance? That's kind of what I'm reading out of that. Here's what I would say. Don't say there's no cost to find out. Say it only takes 60 seconds to find out. So the reason why, when you say no cost, you're immediately I love that question, by the way. You're bringing price into the game already, and you're kind of like bringing up an objection
Before there is one.
they brought it up. And so, it'd be like if I went and looked at a car and I was like looking at this truck. I'm like, it's really pretty on the outside. And the guy said, yeah, and it's not that hard to find diesel anymore. I'd be like, oh crap, I didn't even think about that. You just put, whereas opposed to like, you're going to love the way it sounds, or anything like that. And
can I add to that too, Ryan?
Yeah.
When you tell someone there's no value for something, or no cost for something, you're devaluing your service.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that in mind. When something's free, it must not be valuable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you have a coupon for something and it's buy one, get one free, it loses its value, at least some of it. So keep that in mind too. And don't kind of shoot yourself in the foot, because you have a huge value. Your services have a huge impact.
For 17 years, we had no cost for WOTC. And I would love to show you a chart, but it would be embarrassing of our WOTC client. Like, we thought we were balling, we had so many WOTC clients, and then we started charging $19 for our WOTC platform, straight up curve. Okay. Like stock market when Trump was in office type curve.
Yeah.
And so I think it just made some people really happy and some people really aggravated. Sorry. But straight up curve, as soon as we started charging $19 for it, it was just amazing. Yeah. Because all of you stopped selling WOTC, which is kind of a complicated sale, and you started selling a tax management system. So, people understand subscriptions. They understand things with value. Kendra, last one, I think you could use this to like segue back into what you were talking about. So, Noel asked a really good one. So what do you do? I'm rephrasing a little. If you got, you got a business owner who's just he's not responding, that kind of thing. And, what do you do?
One of the things, forgive me, I have one of those chairs that like keeps dying on me. So if you guys see me dropping today, that's why. I try to wrap up, because at some point you have to be like, okay, I'm got to move on. So if you're spending a lot of time on an individual and they've kind of just shut you down, I try to do a series of hits that happen real quick, maybe within a day or so of each other. Leave a message and say, hey, I just sent you an email. I know you're really busy. I just want you to take a look at it, because I can't in good conscience walk away, and I don't think you realize, something like that kind of terminology.
Yeah.
That email works really well for us. We have one that we use at a very specific time in the process, and it basically says, I need your permission.
I was so stressed when you first sent this one, but it works.
Yeah, so well. It literally says, I need your permission to close your account, because I know you're busy. I know you haven't responded. That's usually because you're busy, or I need to speak to someone else, but I can't do this without your permission, because it's so impactful. It's got such a monetary value. You can use whatever verbiage you want.
Yeah.
And I always put in, because if you've run someone through the system, there's a potential benefit dollar amount that that belongs to them as your potential client. Pull that into the conversation. And I say, I need to make sure that I have your approval to move on to other open accounts, because this is $365,000.
Yeah.
Do you approve me to close your account and possibly not get that benefit of $365,000? More often than not, I get an email or call back going, whoa, what I didn't give you permission to do that. So now you've got them engaged again. And you just have to be ready to then, pull them and say, I know that's
I
why
do
I
want
had
to add
to,
one more in too, even though I told you, and I promise I'll let you have it back after this. So the other part I would add to that is kind of my claim to fame is asking who the right person is. I do this all the time. I say, and I get real casual with it, especially if I have any relationship whatsoever. I will say yo and bro. I'm not like above that, and I just to, like, really set the tone for it. I'd be like, dude, like I literally, this is how, dude, I know you're super busy. I don't need your time. I just need you to give me a name
who am I
of
supposed to work
who.
with?
Yeah, spot on. And so if I were reaching out to Kendra, I would just message and I would put who question mark because that's going to draw their attention. And then I'd say, Kendra, I know you're super busy. I just need to know who handles hiring at your organization. And then I'm gonna go after WotC. I need to know who would process your guys' tax credit. There's only 10 days left. Like, do that, get it out of their hand. We did a review one time where we took all of the TMS signups for a month and we did a very targeted survey of who actually filled out the paperwork, not whose name was on the account, by the way, because I found out that was different. But we actually did that and we got a hold of, as many as we could. And we asked the question, are you the one that signed, who's the one that signed up? What we found was more than half of signups were an administrative person. So even if like my account might say Ryan Maddock, then we are looking, it's like, well, Ryan Maddock never even heard of this, let alone filled it out.
Yeah.
Not only does Kendra put my name on stuff, but Kendra's staff members put my name on stuff. Like, and by the way, if you're watching, I'm not giving permission for that. I'm saying that's like how business works. If somebody set up an Office 365 account, I mean, my credit card floats around the office, more than it should. But, at the same time, Kendra, would you like get on one of your subordinates if they spent $9 on Office 365?
Not if it's an appropriate expense that lines up with their role.
Yeah.
There's a reason you have people in roles and they have responsibilities up into a certain level and degree. And some of those are spending roles.
Yep.
And it would be appropriate for them. So that's kind of how you get to control that direct. Like, it's so impactful that I want you guys to understand you control it. You get to know that what their wants and needs are. You get to move them through that ideal purchase experience, and therefore you get to have the impact that you want. And one more thing I want to draw out of this is direct to client, those direct relationships. They usually end up with really happy clients. They're long-term, they're loyal. They feel like you have really understood them. They feel satisfied with you. They talk about you. You get the most direct referrals from your direct to client exposure. Trust me, hands down, you're going to get more referrals that way than any other way. And basically, I just really wanted to drive home the fact that those direct to client experiences, they're going to be your most valuable long-term client. They really are. And it is more work to develop and nurture those relationships. But once you got them, you got them. And that's what you want. So you can't pull this out of that marketing strategy.
Yeah. So Kendra, I'm going to give you a minute I'm sorry, let me just double check. You were good on this segment. I think we're right. Okay, good. I'm going to give you a minute to kind of open up the next segment because we have to manually, touch on these. So one of the things that I want to look at is I want to talk about, we're still talking about direct to client. We're not on to social yet. But I want to talk about, when we're talking about direct to client, we have the toolbox. And Kendra, when you get a chance, get that screen up for toolbox. And so when we're looking at the toolbox, one of the things I want to point out, and I think I'm kind of to blame for this, is when people think of the toolbox, Zoe, they're thinking in terms of posting on Facebook. And, that's not, really all this is for. Is so, as they're doing that, sorry, I'm just kind of trying to get my screen right. There we go. So I think what people usually think is that when I go out there, the toolbox is for posting on Facebook, and going out in person is like, I just go out there with my good looks or with a blank notepad or whatever the case is. And are you guys like, why are you laughing? Because I said good looks. So, and I think it's partially because that's how we built our careers. Like a lot of us went out like with literally a Padfolio long before tablets, long before I would never haul a laptop back then into a client's office because you wouldn't even have a way of connecting it to the internet. And although that's evolved a little bit, that's how we're used to doing business, a Padfolio, an open dialogue. In fact, I don't want anything standing between me and the client as I do that. So I don't take anything, and all the toolboxes is for posting on Facebook. Zoe, talk about that a little bit and kind of undo maybe some of the damage I've done by the marketing tool. It doesn't say the social marketing toolbox though, guys. It says the marketing toolbox.
Yeah, so the marketing toolbox is not just for social. I'm going to break that misconception that there are tools in there that are going to support your direct to client relationships. If you're meeting with them, there are tools in there that can help support closing that potential deal or tax credit that you're trying to work with them on. And direct to client's growing. So this is going to continue to evolve, and we understand that. So that's why we're providing you guys marketing toolbox resources, both for social and for direct to client, because as Kendra and Ryan have mentioned, that is not going anywhere, and it is the backbone of many businesses. But we do need to match our online brand and presence with that in-person brand that we already have. So what that means is we all have a persona online, whether you like it or not, and whether you're building into it or not. We need to make sure the professionalism you have in person is matching with what you have online. We want to have the same person, the same connection. You feel as if that is authentic on both online and in person. So with that being said, we are providing professionally designed. These are with data, psychology, marketing psychology in mind, landing pages and resources that will help you close deals while using direct to client in person. You can bring out that iPad. Kendra's going to kind of show us how we can make that sale very authentic and organic while bringing in the marketing toolbox resources.
Yeah, I want to touch on that for just a minute too, Zoe, is that so I love when the iPad came out, one of the things that I loved about tablets in general is just that, it really did allow me to still keep the connection. And, I wanted to show you this in the body language and everything that comes along with the meaning. But really, Kendra, what I want you to show us is that how do we marry, instead of saying, hey, when I'm posting online, I look great. You know what I mean? It's like these great videos and it's all of these things and everything. And when I go in person, you're just going out there and you're just this, and, part of it, there's nothing wrong with that because this is how I always went out and this is how I've always gotten business. But I think there's a power that comes when we marry those two things and we take this personal relationship and all the benefits that you just described, Kendra, but we also have like powerful graphics, powerful video, access right at our fingertips to blog messaging, like all these other things. And what I love about the iPad as opposed to a computer is it just sits there and it gets out of the way. It's there when I need it and I can spin it around and have this dialogue, but it's also out of the way and it's not this obstacle between me and the client. It's also highly portable at any coffee shop or anything like that. And so, when we're looking at that, Kendra, talk a little bit about that. How do we marry this direct to client approach you're talking about that can be done in person or virtually like that, but use some of the beauty, and I will use that word, that you've created? Because for those of you who've been around for a long time, we launched Prez Pro, 12 years ago, or I don't know, I'm probably way off. 10 years ago. And, at the time it was like really cutting edge, but you compare it to the tools we have now and, we have to, because this is what they're used to seeing.
I was going to say, Ryan, it's the expectation at this point, and Zoe touched on that as well. There's an expectation of what we're going to provide to them. And if we don't live up to the expectation that, say, any mid 20-year-old with a boutique out there has, or, anybody who's got some online store has, then we're below the bar. And so we need to be using these tools to allow, as Zoe said, that persona, that professionalism to come across just as it does online in person. So I'm sharing with you the screen. It has Marketing Toolbox. All of you should be familiar with this. I'm just going to scroll down real quick. I'm going to show you two different things that I really want you to, as we move through this, apply with the mentality that I could use this in person or on a phone call, or, if I'm talking to anybody at a networking event, something like that.
Ask your questions as we're in the segment. We're taking questions as we go. There's still a lot of questions about tax season. Unfortunately, we moved past tax season. We're talking about direct to client using marketing tools right now. So Kendra, as we go through this, I want people asking questions.
So I'm going to click on the landing page section because I'm showing you basically how to get to where I want you to get to. That's going to take you to the main landing page. And if I scroll down here a little bit, there's this main one and then those industry specific landing pages. When I click on that, it's going to take me here to the premium landing pages homepage. And I want to be here because this is where those two things are that I want to show you. Oh, I hope this reloads for us real quick. There it is. The first thing I want to show you is this video. And you're thinking, Kendra, why are you showing me a video? If I'm in person, how is this going to help me? Do you know how often I share video with other professionals, colleagues, friends, like on the daily? And I'm not exaggerating, on the daily. And I'm not talking about reels. I'm talking about, hey, check out this product, or hey, check out this service. It does X, Y, and Z, and I'm using it at my office. I want to see if you guys like it too, blah, blah, blah. And not only that, this is your service. If you're in front of somebody and you're just talking to them and they are like, I don't really know what ERC is. Hang on, let me show you. Boom, boom. Open your phone. These little devices that we carry with us everywhere we go. Everybody's got one in their pocket. Click play. I think it's like a minute. What is it? A 2-minute long video that really gives this professional description and persona to this service that you're bringing to the table. So share that in person, send the link via text to somebody, have it linked up on your phone, maybe in your notes or something when you're at a networking event. Outside of that, that's number one I wanted to show you. Number two is we have these great industry landing pages. And say I'm going to go out to meet, I have a lot of friends that are business owners too, or work, an executive level or management level in different businesses. I'm going to go meet with my friend. She owns a small retail store. So I'm going to click on this retail landing pages. And I'm very casually going to share this with her. I'm going to say, hey, there's something I'm meaning to show you. I'm going to pull up my phone or my iPad and I'm going to click on it and say, I need to show this to you because I'm actually working with a lot of people and we're able to get them a significant amount of money because they own stores just like you do. And then this page is literally going to walk them through descriptive information that's specific to their retail industry. You couldn't get, what I was trying to combine there is two words. You couldn't get a script that would do this better for you. And it's literally right here on your phone at your disposal. It even explains that it's a system that does this. Sometimes that's a part that we don't always get to connect completely when we're kind of giving our spiel or, emailing or what have you. And then look at this. There's another video right there. I could use the video from right there. I mean, this is beautiful. It's professional. It even has the case study that's right there. You can't use a better tool, like literally, and it's right at your fingertips. So those are my two examples, like using the video and then using the specific landing page. Any landing page can be used, even if it's not one of those 4 industries. The verbiage in here, you could pull it up just as a talking point. If you're not sure how your conversation's going to go, pull it up and be like, well, you know what? I mean, right here it says, well, how much is the average? Well, you know what? WOTC is a big deal for your guys' industry too. And I think it's like $2,400 is the average for each WOTC. You know what I mean?
Now, what I love about these, just pause for a second. Again, if I'm in person doing this, if I'm just using this, I'm just talking, I have this awkward, like, well, what would I do? You could say, well, let's set up an appointment, but you're already there. So now on the other side, if you're talking and everything and they say, what do I do? You got to say, oh, well, let's fire up our computer. If you're already here, Kendra, scroll back down to that part and you're talking about WOTC and they show some interest. We're here, we're on my iPad, we're doing this. Guess what that check WOTC button does? Takes you into the sales process. And this is what I love about this. And this is your page with, all your information on it. And it's going to lead to getting you a client right there. So I love using that, rate as part of my process. Now, if you're doing this virtual, this is yet another way. That's okay. Like there's plenty of, if you do it virtual, there's a couple ways. You could either share your screen Or what I hear people do a lot is they just text this over or email this over. So that, and you say, are you on that page? Can you scroll down? Okay, what I want you to do is click calculate, that kind of thing. Zoe, you're from the marketing world, and that's where you've spent most of your life, is in the marketing world. Help understand a little bit too, like, is a client maybe who, especially in person, or who, maybe we have some relationship with, would they be turned off because we're giving them something more polished like this?
Great question. So this is what the clients and competition, this is the new expectation. This is what competitors are out there doing. This is when you go to a website, you're seeing polished websites time and time again. This is why we're providing these to you. They are designed to convert. So if you're doing this virtual, you're seeing every little section of this page at the time you're seeing it for a reason. There's data that's driving these. And like they said, you can use the sales process in these videos.
Yeah. Now, one of the questions we got, so are the landing pages accessible in Prez Pro? So Prez Pro is just going to walk them through the calculator. That's it. It's a start to finish process. Everything, Kendra, go over one more time, back almost from the top. Where do I find all of this goodness?
So everybody has the marketing toolbox links in their portal. So you're going to click on that link. It's going to take you to a page that looks exactly like this. When you scroll down, we've segmented each type of tool into its own area. So you've got scripts, email templates, social posts, landing pages, and blog articles. They can all be used in all aspects of marketing. If you click on the landing page link, it's going to take you to the main landing pages, which is here. All of these are amazing and great. For example, here's the main one. I mean, it's beautiful. It's tried and true. We're never getting rid of that bad boy. And then here's those industry specific ones with premium. There's our video and more. I don't know why, I'm sorry, we're all of a sudden getting a little feedback. And then when you go to the premium landing pages, it'll literally, you just click on it, takes you right over here. And there's those explainer videos again, and those 4 industry specific pages. We have 4 right now. Not going to give any secrets away, but we'll be.
If you're talking to a restaurant, use this. If you're talking to a manufacturer, use this. If you're talking to a hotel, use this. If you're talking to a car dealership, you use the general one. Like, there are still, I would use either the ERC one or just the general overview one. We've given you a lot that's there. So that's how you access those. Zoe, I'll ask you this. Can they, and I'm going to say, can they? Yes. Should they be, if they're talking to a client, they pop up a Zoom? That's like everyday business now. Like, should they just open the toolbox and?
Yeah, definitely. I would suggest sharing your screen. I mean, if you could get a client to close while you're on a Zoom call through the sales process with them, you're supporting them. I mean, there's nothing really better than that. So definitely be open to sharing this. It's a lot easier knowing they're looking at it versus sending a link and hoping they click that link through their busy day.
Last question for this segment, and Heather's already kind of poking me a little bit. So last one, Kendra, phone calling, is that part of direct marketing? Because that's the only access.
It can absolutely be part of direct. Direct means you're contacting one-on-one. So one-on-one can be text, it can be email, it can be a instant message, and it can be in person. It can be at a networking event. It just means like they're your only focus in that moment. Yeah. You're not doing broad, you're not doing blanket, you're not sending out, the same email to 15, 20, 30, 100, 2,000 people. It's that direct one-on-one that can happen many different ways.
There's one more question. I said I was done, but one more. So do we need the marketing program to get into landing pages? I want to take this one. So we have the overall toolbox, which is, I don't want to put a percentage on it, but that's all we had for years. And everyone has access to the marketing toolbox. There are some premium assets in it that are part of premium, but there are, I think I'm going to say 5 landing pages that are just, everyone has. And then there's 6 more landing pages that are just premium. And so you have plenty. There's social posts for everyone, but then there's more social posts and more video and stuff like that for premium. So to explain the difference a little bit, I don't want to spend too much time on it. Most of you on here, you're probably already in premium. Most of our team members are. Premium gets you access to masterclass, as well as the premium assets that we'll see. So sometimes you'll see something that has a little crown on it and is premium. Listen, if you're not in premium and you don't want to be in premium, there's another site that, it's like some of these have been around, like that main page, Kendra, that's been around since 2017. It performs great.
It performs great.
Yeah. You have ones that, Kendra, any last word before, I think Heather's like itching. She's kind of poking. I see her down there.
I
Any
mean, I think
last
we're going to
word?
jump. Zoe's got a little bit to add as far as the social side, I believe, before we jump to closing.
Yeah, I think we can move on to
I don't
that
want to. I don't want to
section.
steal from that because that's really important to share today.
Yeah.
It is. And honestly, this is a really great place because we've been discussing throughout the broadcast marrying the approaches. So moving into that other segment, it's a different type of approach on the social side.
Absolutely. So Zoe, you can go ahead and pull up your slides, and I'll kind of give you a chance to do that while we're going to move in, and all the questions we're going to answer during this segment are about social. And so that was direct. That was very important. So Zoe, first of all, I have a question for you. Can people really pitch 10,000 people with one click, or is it like 3 or 4 clicks?
It may be 3 or 4, but it is completely
But the
realistic.
principle's there.
Yes.
Okay.
10,000 is realistic for anyone to reach. It can be 20,
Yeah.
30, whatever you want.
Now, on Masterclass last month, which we've got another one this Thursday, we'll make sure we give out the info for that. But I really loved, you ladies did such a great job kind of talking through. And I really loved something that you went over, that you kind of talked a little bit about organic social versus paid social, that kind of thing. Now, Kendra, that segment, people can still watch, right? That's still there.
Yeah, I'm going to condense what I was going to say about it. I'm basically going to say that one of the segments that we covered was the organic side of social marketing. It was amazing. We were able to determine that there was a lot of you are using everything that we've provided and you're having great success. And there was a couple of tweaks that we made, and we discovered that there was a couple of steps that if we kind of emphasized them and showed you how to do it, that it really impacted the reach of your organic marketing.
Yeah.
That all took place in that full segment during Masterclass. You can go back, you can watch it, you can get all filled in and find out what steps you might be missing. And I encourage you to do so.
Well, we had a number of questions like this one. Is it too late?
No,
Absolutely not. We're doing 4 parts. We've only done 1, and a couple of things. One, if you get into Masterclass, like let's say you're not in premium and you get in premium, or maybe you're already in premium, but you didn't join last Masterclass. Each session, they're like independent episodes. It's like Dateline. Okay.
Yes.
You can watch an episode of Dateline. It doesn't matter that you didn't see last week's Dateline, but at the same time, you can also go rewatch that, but you don't need to watch it before this Thursday. I would say the most important thing is that you be on for this Thursday. Don't worry about catching up. You can do that later.
And you won't be behind. You won't have missed out. You can always, they're independent segments. They do build on each other because they're all of it's great information, but each one's an independent part of the approach.
Absolutely. So Zoe, talk a little bit about that. And I don't want to take any more of the time that we're going to spend talking about the social side of things. So, but last thing, sorry, this Thursday, and I'm going to put a banner up in just a second. This Thursday we have Masterclass. I'll put up a banner on how people get to it, and things like that. But I'm really excited because we're going to cover some great stuff on video this upcoming Thursday.
Yeah. So a little bit about how to grow your business with social. We did talk about organic and paid. I'm going to give a little run through on paid social specifically, but like we mentioned, if you go back into the masterclass all about social media, you will see everything organic and paid and how you can utilize that in your business. We covered specifically step-by-step for almost 2 hours how to run Facebook ads for your business. So we ran through what it looks like to create your Facebook page, which is necessary for running Facebook ads for your business, how to boost that post, which does mean a paid post, and that means there's budget behind it. So we walked through how you build that, where you pull these posts from, which is in the marketing toolbox. We do provide the creatives and captions that we encourage you guys to use. And we really dove into audience targeting. This is the most impactful way you can use paid marketing for your business. the way we can get to a specific person and niche of industry so easily with Facebook marketing and audience building is so unique. It's something we've never really seen before. It's, the last 5 to 10 years, it's become so niche into who you're targeting. We can get to income levels, location, where they reside, where they work, what industry they're in. So if you're thinking of that restaurant owner you want to target, we can find that person through audience targeting. We also then talked about managing those ads, what that looks like, how long it can take you, which is only a few minutes a day. And this was all in the masterclass for social. If you guys are not in the masterclasses, make sure you jump into those. And then the one coming up for this Thursday, we'll dive into complete video, explainer videos, how you can use them for your business, as well as how you can put them into your paid strategy, which is something we will dive into a little bit. So like mentioned, there are 2 types of social media, organic and paid. So the difference, it's very hard to tell. If you have an eye for it, you will spot them. I'll show you what to look for. So that little sponsored tag at the top is going to mean there is a paid budget behind that post that you're seeing. So that means you're seeing that for a reason. They want you to see that. They think that you're going to buy or click or convert better than someone else would. So if you're going on vacation and you start to see ads about travel deals, there's no coincidence there. Facebook is pretty smart, and whoever is running that paid ad is strategic on why you're seeing that. So how do you implement these into your business? This is going to look like paid social media can be done on any channel: Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. There's so many, but we are going to focus on Facebook. I have ran ads across every platform. There is nothing that compares to the Facebook Audience Builder. The reason why it is so exact is they pull data off of when you sign up for Facebook. So that email you're putting in, that birthday, gender, those are all getting used when it comes to paid strategy. So you're going to decide that channel. What is a realistic budget for you to do in your business? We always like to kind of focus on a monthly budget, but really you could break it down to weekly. Where are you going to send them? Are you going to send them to your landing page that we provide for you guys? Phone call, Facebook Messenger? How are they going to convert with you? So that looks like, what's going to convince them to click the ad? Why do they want to work with you? Is your creative convincing? Does the creative talk about restaurants and it's a restaurant owner, and then the page is a restaurant page? That would mean it's a very seamless transition for them to just keep clicking, keep converting, and wanting to work with you. So a quick strategy breakdown for paid social ads. And like I mentioned, we did go through all of this step by step, very thorough on the previous masterclass. If you want to dive into more of this, this is just a little tidbit. You will want to decide when you build that strategy, what is the ideal budget for your business? How much are you willing to spend? And how much is realistic for you to spend? What is the niche? So is that campaign going to be focused on restaurants or manufacturers? Who do you want it to be centered around? And then who do you want it to be sent to? So who are you building that audience for? What do they do for work? How old are they? What's their gender? Where do they live? Anything like that can help support the audience. And then that creative and copy is the most important. And that is where you get that from the marketing toolbox. That's going to look like creative and copy that we get from our marketing toolbox, if you have your own explainer videos. But that creative and copy is what makes that person click. So it needs to be good. It needs to be strategic, that it was meant for a paid audience to see it. And a little breakdown on how these paid posts work. And I promise, once you do one, they are very quick. They don't take a ton of time, but we want to make sure you guys are understanding the building process. So you will create that ad post. Once that is posted to your Facebook page, you will have the option to boost it, which means put a paid budget behind it. You'll select where you want to send them, what the goal of the campaign is, what that budget is going to look like, how long you want to run the ad for. You'll build that audience, which, like I mentioned, is the most important part of the ad that you're running. And then the duration and budget is going to be the final step before it goes into review. Once it's in review, the ad will be live within 1 to 2 hours, and it will run until that duration is up, or if you turn it off manually. And then we do talk about analyzing your ad results, which is crucial. You don't want to run ads and then never analyze how they worked and just keep doing this
There's a
strategy.
good question that kind of comes along with this. So Bev said, is there one strategy that does better on Facebook ads than others? So I'll kind of tee. That's such a broad question.
Yes, that is a broad question. It's kind of a sandwich on what builds a really great ad. I do encourage you, as you're on your own socials and you see ads that you're like, I might click that, or you do click it. Why did you click that? Did it sell you in the copy? Was it the video was extremely enticing? Was it a deal or talked about price? Obviously, anything, you say $26,000 per employee and people are interested pretty quick. So what was it that made you click? And I will say, a little teaser into coming on Thursday, video is going to be a huge factor in a strategy for paid ads. It's not the only way to do it. So if you're not doing video, it's not the only thing you need to do to start.
Now, by doing video, they don't have to go on camera. They can use the professional videos that we've already produced.
Yep. And it is proven the first 3 to 5 seconds is the most important when it comes to paid, because it is a paid post. Attention is less, the quicker the scroll. So we definitely build those videos with that in mind for you guys.
Yeah. Now, Zoe, somebody asked, when's the best time of day to post? But if you're running ads, isn't there like a massive brain behind that's deciding all of that? Or do they need to like understand the psychology of this? Or is the system going to do it for them?
Yes, great question. So organic posting times, we did talk about that in the masterclass. That's probably what you're referring to when it comes to a specific time of day. When it comes to a paid ad, that ad is going to run with the budget you get it. So if you give it $10 a day, it is going to run to the point where the $10 is spent. And that means 24 hours a day it could run. Facebook and the algorithm is very smart that they are not going to push your ad at 2 a.m. if your audience is in America and that's who you're trying to hit. So you don't actually, it's pretty hands off. Once you build that ad and make it live, the only thing you really have to do is just go back in, check on it every few days. And then once it's done, analyze those results. But there is nothing you do in between.
Okay. Now in masterclass, you're going to show me how to like take my ERC video. And if I say, I want to pitch 2,000 restaurants or maybe one of the things, Kendra, I'm bringing you into this to marry together, like we were talking about, a digital campaign and a direct to client, I'm piecing this together. So let's say, Kendra, I wanted to use your direct to client things that we've talked about, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to talk to restaurant owners. But Zoe, I want to warm up all the restaurants within an hour of me. Does Facebook let you do that?
Yes, it does. And it's not to be creeped out that it does. But we can put
that, guys.
Yeah.
If you were going out to do a campaign, back up like 20 years ago, and you're like, I'm going to go approach all the car dealerships in my area. And so what do? If you were doing that 20 years ago, what you would do is you would say, okay, I'm going to pull from the phone book all the car dealerships. And then I'm going to get in, Microsoft Word. And I'm going to make a nice little thing, for car dealerships. And then I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do this. And if you're really on the ball, maybe you're going to make some phone calls, leave some voicemails, or hire a virtual assistant to do that for you. But now in this modern world, if I say, want to go out to restaurants, then what I'm hearing is, Kendra, your team has got some great landing pages and some email templates and some social posts. And then Zoe, you're telling me that you're going to teach me how to go out there and for like, I'm going to add, a little bit for like a few bucks. I could talk to like every restaurant within 100 miles of me, right? Yes. That views it. And then Kendra, I take your like video and your beautiful page, but they're already warmed up because by the time I walk in cold, are you catching this, guys? I've already been bugging them. They've already been there. And if I really want to up my game, maybe I'll send some emails too. Like that. Go ahead, Kendra.
That kind of answers Denise's question, because Denise asked, I'm going to try to do this. Like, they're so cool. There we go. How do we differentiate us from the thousands of ERC companies out there? You're going to do it by building in the way Ryan just explained and kind of go from there, because there's so much that lends to who you are within your community, the tools that are available to you. That's what's going to set you apart. And the other side of it is, I want to add this little tidbit to that for Denise. We're an actual company that does ERC.
Yeah.
Most of them aren't. And we like when we started seeing them, we got out there, we kind of started throwing our numbers and our information. We never got callbacks because they're not actually a company that performs the work. They're just a lead generation company. So that's one way to differentiate, building on this
The other thing
plan
is,
that
you
Ryan
just
just
said
said.
we're a real company, and by no means with social do we want to be like too narrow and too limited. But there's something that no other ERC company can do, and that's get in their car and go meet with people. We have physical presence in all 50 states, but let's just talk about you for a minute. You have an area. I mean, Zoe, you'll talk about this more on Thursday, but I mean, I don't like, if it were me, what I would do is I would take your 4 primary industries, manufacturing. How many manufacturers, Kendra, are there within just like decent driving distance of, we've done campaigns with them before. I mean, we're talking thousands.
So, just like here in Michigan?
Yeah, if I wanted to go on the road. In fact, I think
Thousands.
clear my next quarter. This is my new strategy. I've just decided. So can you clear my schedule, Kendra? Does that work that way?
Yeah, right.
So Zoe, what I need you to do is I want you to run ads to all the manufacturers, hotels, restaurants. I mean, this is like good action plan. This is winding up good here. All the manufacturers, restaurants, hotels, and oh my gosh. And retail. Yeah. Retail that's a lot. So you're going to do that. And what I want you to do, Zoe, is I want you to hit them 2-3 times a week. I just want to be in front of them. And then Kendra, I need you to, oh wait, you already have. Give me some really cool graphics so that when I walk in, I can like feel good about myself and be like, hey, let me show you something. Maybe a video would be nice too. And then I'm going to go out there and I'm going to say, I think I'll do an email. So if I'm going to hit 10 that day, I'm going to send an email. Kendra, could you draft me some emails?
Done.
Okay, that's already in the toolbox too. So what I'm going to do is that morning, I'm going to send 10 emails. Then when I stop by, can I get a script?
Done.
Okay, cool. So all I got to do is stop out with, so Zoe's going to warm them up. And I like this strategy. So I like this a lot. So with what I just said, Zoe, is this realistic? Like, can we go warm up a market and then use the toolbox to go, hit this?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yes.
What if I have no experience on Facebook? Can you teach
That's
me how to
do
do it?
Yes, the masterclass exists. We will be talking about it again this Thursday when it comes to video. We'll keep hitting this because paid marketing is something you will get better with at time. You will start to have an eye for it. Once you understand it, you cannot unsee it. My husband may have bought things from ads, and I'm like, I can't believe you buy those things. Like, he actually falls for them. But I have never clicked on an ad because you will see it now and you will know how to convert your clients with advertising.
Kendra, I don't think most people know this, but actually part of Premium is the ability to go in using a tool that we built years ago called Smart Search. And Smart Search, I just type in my zip code and I type in like car dealerships or anything like that. And it shows me all the car dealerships in the area. Here's the key, that are likely to qualify for our services. Right. Now, could you do that in Google too? Absolutely. But why would you? If you're in Premium, we've already pulled those in your area. And, now it's like, oh, well, it's easy to find an owner's name and a phone number. Yeah, you don't have to pay for Premium to do that. But for those of you that are already in Premium, use Smart Search. And that's exactly, I'd say, I want to see all the restaurants in my area and here's the key, Kendra, this isn't I'll use hotels. It's not every hotel in Smart Search. It's every hotel that would be likely or a high qualifier for our service.
Yeah, we put a criteria into the system and it actually filters out the ones that would be below or way above where your criteria would fall.
Absolutely. Zoe, I kind of took over some of your time, but that's okay because we're giving you like a full hour on Thursday. Final word, Zoe, what are you going to teach them on Thursday?
We are going to dive into video explainer videos. You can use them organically in your business, how you can convert and create really good video content. And I will say every single social platform is favoring video. And it's because it is capturing attention. It is converting people. If you go onto any platform, you're probably watching a video within the first 5 seconds. So we're going to teach you guys how to do this and also how to plug those videos into multiple areas of your business, which is where multi-use content comes into play.
Okay. Kendra, so I got down here, like how to get into, the link for it and stuff like that. But I think it's tomorrow people are getting an email for masterclass. So they get an email, they click on the link, and you add it to your calendar, and the calendar automatically has like the watching link. Did I say that right?
To answer John's question earlier too, if you've already registered, just click on it so I know that you're coming to class, to masterclass too. You can just click on it, add it to your calendar, and it puts it right in your calendar. You're registered, like I've got you in, but it's nice to see that when you click add it to your calendar, it kind of notifies me and I say, oh, okay, look, we've got 650 people that are coming this Thursday. So do that for me, add it to your calendar, and then you don't have to go searching for those links either. They're right there. By the
way, you ladies have these great takeaways that are part of Master. It's not just like an hour of, Zoe and Kendra and I talking. It's like you actually like walk away. I was so blown away with the screenshot. I can say it because I had so little to do with it, but all these screenshots and like step by step. I mean, like literally you could take this and it's a little booklet afterwards. Zoe, do you have the same thing going for this week?
Oh yeah. So you guys you can always watch these back. You can repeat them as many times as you need for the masterclass video, but also the page will have step-by-step of just additional info, context, so you can really build action items and takeaways from the masterclass.
Ryan, I call it her syllabus. I love it.
Yes, syllabus is a great way to look at it. Don't go anywhere, anybody. This Thursday, if you're not in premium or you don't know if you're in premium, go to gmg.me/premium. I have it there at the bottom of the screen right now. And what that's going to do is it's going to check to see if you're in premium or not. And then if you're not, it's okay. There's plenty of content. You can go get started with all the strategies we said. If you are in premium, you'll get your masterclass link then. And then, you can jump in, but you should be part of or you could of course join premium if you see the value in it. So Kendra, we're a little over on time.
But not bad.
What do we need to do here? I mean, you got the action steps there, but what do we need?
Here's your homework, everybody.
Yeah.
Tax season, we still have a couple of weeks. I didn't get to share it with you because my slide actually cut off, but 74% uptick in clients in the weeks leading up to tax day, which is the 18th this year, everybody, not the 15th.
And I said some earlier. I said, we're done with tax season. I was talking about the segment, just to be clear.
Yeah. Everybody was like, we're not done with tax season.
Yeah. First of all,
no, we're not.
There's 6 weeks left in this one, but then the next one starts.
And we'll talk about that later, but focus on
done.
now.
We're done with the tax season segment.
Yeah. Focus on now. If you're sleeping right now and you're not going to get out there and do this work, I feel sorry for you because you're going to miss out on making money. That's the bottom line. If you can get out there, I want you to use the email. There's emails in the toolbox. Use the follow-up email. I may have time to put a little special tax season one in there if I'm really, really happy after this call. And if you see that in there, use that one. At the very least, send it to 10 people. And I mean, that's like bottom line. That's like, I'm just doing this because Kendra told me to do this. If you want to make some money, get out there and start touching everybody and explaining, hey, tax season's here. You got any tax liability? I can help you out. All of your pending cost seg potential in your portal. You should touch every single one of them with a multiple touch: phone, text, email, something, all three. Like you need to be touching all of those because right now is when they're looking for that solution for tax liability and you are that solution. They're not going to remember you if you don't get back out there in front of them. And then like we've been talking about, get in there, unlock your premium, register for this. It says next Thursday, but that's actually this Thursday's master
3
class.
days from now.
Yeah.
3 days from now.
And I guess basically this is where I want to stop, or not stop, but this is what slide I want to leave up for you guys to kind of sink in everything we've discussed today. I mean, ask yourself why do Ryan, Kendra, Zoe, the entire support team here, why do we put so much work and effort into our broadcasts, into the information we give to you, into our emails, into the tools that we give you? Is because we want you to be highly successful. We've seen it. We know the potential that our partners make when they're out there and they're using their tools and they're reaching those levels of success. And we want it for each and every one of you. So I'm just kind of putting this little tidbit here. And these are 3 very basic examples.
We're turning clients so quickly right now. And here you can see any ranging from $15,000 in commission to $40,000 in commission. We just had someone, I think 3 calls ago, that had $120,000 commission. One client.
I picked basic ones, Ryan, because I wanted them to seem Like those are super achievable. These are basic. These are smaller companies. These are one service commissions. One service commissions. We have multiple services that our clients qualify for. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I want all of you to be making this every week, and that is
Honestly, you're
highly
doing this.
possible.
Yeah, you're doing this for the commission. You're doing this for your own financial freedom. I know there's some of you, and I do see it on there that you're like, I just want to bring stimulus money to my community. And I understand that. And that's great. And I don't want to take anything away from that. I think the vast majority of you, though, you're doing this because you want financial freedom. You want money. You want to capitalize. You know, we can all look back and say, man, in 2008, this thing was going on. And if I'd done this, this, and this, it would have really capitalized. And then you can look and see some of the things more, you know, more recently. And you say, man, if I'd only shorted the market at this time, then I'd be making money.
Right.
I'm telling you, this is one of those moments. Like clients are, you know, out there, they need money. That's the only like two ways about it. And the only thing is they don't know who you are. Or if they do know who you are, they don't know that you have the money that you can get them. Now, to your point, Kendra, on why we do this is just obviously like when you go get clients, you make money, they make money, and we make money. I mean, our motives are like blatantly clear. We're in business. By the way, if I haven't ever said this before, we're in business to make money. That's like our goal. I'd like to declare it to everyone. And the way we make money is very simple. It's when you get clients. Okay. So why do we have a marketing team? We have a marketing team simply so that you can go get clients. Why do we put on Masterclass? I mean, Masterclass, and I saw one of the questions, is it going to be archived? Yes, you have access to go back, watch these over and over again, follow the steps. But Kendra, you look at this. So you've given them scripts and videos, the right industries to get in front of. And then we marry that in with you and Zoe talk about the actual like daily to do, like do this on Monday, do this on Tuesday. We only make money when you implement those steps and then you get clients. Like that's how we all make money here. And so, but right now, in the example you said right now, you could sleep through this season. But I was talking to a California advisor, like, I don't know, like 15 years ago. And I was getting on him because we had a morning appointment. He had to move it. And I said, why do you surf in the morning? And he said, well, that's when the waves are. And this is like always stuck with me. It was like the stupidest analogy ever. Like it never occurred to me before. And he said, you know, I can go out there when the waves are big and all you got to do is just catch a wave, or I can go out there and I can paddle as hard as I can and you get nothing out of it. And I'm telling you, you could always get a client. You know, can you get a client on July 4th weekend? Of course you can. There are a couple of times a year though, that Kendra, those clients are just like there and they're hungry and they're there and you can like trip over yourself. And the only thing you have to do is get out of bed and make sure everyone that you run into knows that you have this. And that's kind of the season that we're in right now, is like, there's big waves. You don't actually have to be like skilled at this right now. You don't have to be like doing the most strategic thing or the best thing. What you need to do is you need to be in the water with a surfboard and have some decent level of balance, and you're going to catch a wave. And I love those times a year. We're in those right now. I guess I want to say one other thing too. If you're newer, because we've had a lot of people like come in the last few months. They're like, I want to catch this ERC wave. Then I'll talk to them and I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, well, I just want to get fully trained first. Let me tell you that by the time you're fully trained, oh, I like that. So by the time you're fully trained, the wave will be done and you can get out there and you can paddle and you'll still get clients. You'll still make money, but you'll be missing out on I'm going to call it the Maserati money. Okay. Because you'll be missing out on the huge wave that's happening. You'll still make money, but right now you could like make money so easily. So Kendra, like, I don't mean to offend when I say this, because you do all the training and stuff like that. Screw training. Right?
I don't
need to
care.
be trained.
I would rather see an advisor jump both feet in and figure it out with the tools than to sit back and wait until I'm fully trained. Because let me tell you something, guys. I've been here a long time. You can look back at the videos, the fresh-faced Kendra I've aged, and I'm not fully trained. Ryan's not fully trained. Like if you sit back and use that as, and I'm going to say it, an excuse not to get out there, you're just going to miss out on on making
There'll be
money.
new
Like that's what it
knowledge
boils down
for the
to.
rest of your life, and you'll never be fully trained. You'll never be.
Yep.
We're always learning. I'll say sometimes too, some of our best advisors, they've gone through like additional training and then their quality, like their production level goes to nothing. And, because so don't overtrain yourself. What you really need to know right now is in the toolbox. Kendra, I'm putting you on the spot a little bit. Do you still have your web browser screen that you could pull up the
I
toolbox real
think
quick?
I do. Just one
Okay.
second.
You do that for a second. I want to show everybody one key thing that you need in order to go do this. And on the toolbox, under verbal scripts, if you can't find it, it's okay too. But on the toolbox under verbal scripts, the first one is my pitch. I'm telling you, if you have that, that's like all you need. There we go.
Watch everybody. I'm just going to show you how to get to it. You're going to click on verbal. Let it load.
Mm-hmm.
You're just going to scroll down to
That one right there.
check in.
Okay, I'm going to do this one live. This is always dangerous. I got to go close to my screen because I'm far away. So scroll down just a little for me, Kendra, because my camera's in the way. Sorry, the other way. I said down, but the other way. Okay, so right there is great. So what I'm going to say is, hey, Mike, hope everything's well. Hey, did you guys take the ERC credit? If they say no, all right, well, we're coming up on tax deadlines. For ERC, companies get up to $26,000 per qualified employee. Now, there's dozens of other programs that help small businesses now that PPP's gone. Our company's built a quick online calculator. It's going to help see what you qualify for. It only takes about 60 seconds. Let's check it out. Okay, if they say yes, you're just going to tweak it a little. Hey, Mike, did you guys take ERC? Yes, we did. All right, ERC and PPP, they were huge lifesavers the last 2 years. Now, Congress didn't renew either one of those, but they did add $2.3 trillion into other programs just like ERC. Our company's built a quick search tool so you can see what you qualify for. It only takes 60 seconds. Now, you can use this pitch, Kendra, on really a number of different ways. One way is you could text it, and that's kind of my favorite. The other way is you could you can't email it because it's a back and forth. There's different email scripts. Don't go to those yet. You could text it. You could Facebook direct message or Instagram direct message, or you could, I know it's kind of old fashioned a little bit. You could have this conversation face to face.
In person.
Okay. The reason I like this pitch is because if they're excited about ERC, then great. If they're like piss on ERC, I hate it. It's a scam. Okay, no problem. ERC and PPP are gone. There's $2.3 trillion in other programs. It doesn't matter how I took ERC and I haven't taken ERC. My CPA said, it doesn't matter what they say. Okay. You're just kind of like, is the sky blue? Yes. Okay. Would you like to make more money? Yes. Great. We have an online calculator. Like you're just getting to dialogue is all you're doing. So by saying, hey, Mike, did you guys take ERC? They're like, no, my CPA said we didn't qualify. Oh, that's a bummer. There are a bunch of other programs that's it. Did you guys take ERC? Yeah, we took it. That was amazing. But hey, did you know there's a bunch of other programs? Did you take ERC? No, what's that? Oh, it's a tax credit. It's one of the things we look at, but there's dozens of others too. Don't put your whole weight on ERC. You know why? People are opinionated about ERC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Some people love it. Some people hate it. You may talk to them. This is why I love starting. Did you take ERC? You're going to get, yes, saved my company. Awesome. I have something just like it. No, it's awful and a scam, and I'm tired of hearing about it. Me too. Like, literally, like just ask and then shut up for a second while they answer. Because honestly, Kendra, ERC is a polarizing dialogue. Like,
It is. It really is. This kind of goes back to what we were talking about when we were initially talking about the direct communication forms. By asking these leading questions, and yes, they are leading questions, you're able to immediately know which path they're going to go down. Just follow them and bring them back around.
That's it. That's it right there. Like I love the way
I love Robert. Robert's been with us forever, and he's over here just like explanation pointing. 37 billion in savings to our clients in the last 23 years. Lifetime learning. I love you, Robert.
Yeah. Love it. So I think the most important thing and what I want to leave you with is you got to get to work. Like you got to go get to work right now. You have the right pitch. You have the right knowledge. You got all the right tools and everything. Kendra, if I was going to pick like 2 tools out of the toolbox to use, it's really, really simple. I would use my verbal script and I would be texting that and things like that. And that actually drives to the second tool, which is the landing page. Okay. That's like basic. Okay. That's like coming in and saying, I use the verbal script and then I get them to my page.
Yeah.
Every other strategy is just bonus.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just
You could just stop
compounding.
there
Yeah.
if you want. But if you're like, there's all these people like, but I know thousands of restaurants, or I have a connection with it. Great. We have a tool for that. Okay. And other people are like, okay, but the direct route doesn't take up all my time. And I really know I need to get into the social. You need to be there Thursday, and get that going. So we have something. But if you're new and you're kind of like, maybe overwhelmed or whatever the case is, then again, what I'm going to say is just use that. And if you want to be a little more advanced, you need to be on the masterclass this week because we're going to teach you how to use video. Now, Kendra, we're going to teach them how to use video in person. We're going to teach them how to use video out there, kind of like what you were showing today, but in a little deeper way. And then we're going to show them how to use advanced social strategies. So either way, we're going to show them how to use that video and get it out there. So they need to be on, get to work and be on Thursday. Was that pretty much your action plan?
Yep. I'm sorry, we're getting more questions and they're great questions. So I want you to understand if we didn't get to your questions, feel free to reach out to support or email them in. We'll get some answers for you. That is the plan. As Ryan just said, use that as your foundation, get out there and take advantage of the next couple of weeks.
Sounds good. We will see everyone on Thursday. Thanks for watching and have a great week.